much of a downtick for a guy like Kawhi to catch him, right? Even if I was premature, having said it in the past. So the fact that now they have Paul George locked up long term, and when you look at the rest of this Clippers roster, by the way, like the outside of the big four, the next best player on either roster is Lou Williams. Lou Williams is a great scorer. Williams isn't a good, he's a great scorer, and he is clearly, by far, the next best player on either roster. And then the Clippers also have bigs who can defend and shoot in Ibaka and Morris. A 3-and-D, really a two-guard, but they play him at the one because he's short, and Patrick Beverly, but the kind of guy you want on your team. Like, when you said the rest of the roster favors the Lakers, I really disagree with that, Perk. And given the age of their superstars, where one of them, namely LeBron, should at some point be in decline, I can't say that the Clippers' window is shut.
I can. And that's despite what I just finished saying about Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Remember, we were fantasizing. We were sitting there and saying, if Kawhi Leonard was at his best, if Paul George was at his best, could they make things very, very interesting? Yes, but I did remind everybody that the Lakers are the prohibitive favorite as well. They should be. As far as I'm concerned, the Clippers had their opportunity and they blew it, because Kawhi Leonard didn't show up in the Game 7 and neither did Paul George. It was one of the most horrific performances by a dynamic duo in a Game 7 in NBA history. There is no way to get around it. It was a complete choke job. Plain and simple. Having said all of that, you could make amends. It would be easier to do if somebody else had won the chip. But it's what Kendrick Perkins alluded to in the previous segment. Anthony Davis got a taste. The man is a champion now. He finally got past the semifinals, went to a conference finals, went to a finals, won a game in the conference title game, winning shot, went to the finals and played lights out. Could have easily been named the MVP himself. He was spectacular. And now that you have him with LeBron James, what they didn't do is allow somebody else to get a sniff of winning. So the bottom line is it's an easier path to go through for now. I don't think it's harder for LeBron. I think it's easier. Now LeBron are chasing ghosts because he already got 4 rings. He's already a 4-time league MVP. He's still recognized in year 17 as the best in the world. And when we look at it from that perspective, and then you look at the greatness of Anthony Davis, who's finally being recognized as a top 3 talent on the planet that he is. And then you go and you add the pieces that you've added with Schrader and these boys and Montrezl Harrell. Paul Gasol wants to come out of retirement to play with his brother, Mark Gasol, who's added to the equation and what have you. Do I like Ibaka? Yes. Do I like Kawhi Leonard and Paul George with Ibaka? Yes. Do I think Ibaka is an upgrade from Harrell because of his perimeter shooting and rim protection? Yes. But in the end, the bottom line is this. There's even more pressure amped on the shoulders of Kawhi and Paul George because of what they didn't do. The fact that the Lakers have won the chip. They are now playing with house money, and they still got better. So to me, it makes it that much more daunting for the Clippers. I think that the Clippers had their window of opportunity. They will compete. They will be competitive. They will be in the race. But I still think they missed their opportunity. Their best shot was last year. The door is closed.
Absolutely, the door is closed. And I agree with you, Stephen A. And it's not just because of the Lakers. Just look at the Western Conference and how much better the teams and organizations got. Just look at the Portland Trail Blazers. They got better. One could say that they're better than the Clippers. Look at the Denver Nuggets. They got better. One could say that they're better than the Clippers. And look at Golden State. Although Klay Thompson is out, getting Kelly Oubre, still have Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Looney, who's an underrated player in my eyes, Pascal, who's on the bench. You look at all these teams, and they got better. To me, they had a significant upgrade more than the Clippers. And when I look at the Clippers, their window of opportunity was last year. Let me not count out the Dallas Mavericks, Max, your team. And when you look at the Clippers, I think the worst thing that happened to the Clippers in the bubble was that although the Dallas Mavericks lost, Luka showed the world that the Clippers was all bark and no bite. The way he went toe for toe for them, taking them to 6 games without his Robin when Porzingis got hurt in the second game, I believe it was, and was out for the rest of the series. Luka made that interesting. And what he did was he showed the world that I could take on these perimeter guys that y'all calling some dogs by myself. So it made other teams gain confidence. And then God knows what Jamal Murray did to him and coming back down 3-1. No one is scared of the Clippers anymore. No one is scared of them. And people are looking at the Clippers saying, you know what, y'all softer than some hot Twinkies. And they ready to attack them. So it's not just the Lakers being a clear-cut favorite. It's everyone in the West that then got better this offseason.
Look, if you're talking about this upcoming season, I agree with you. I don't think the Clippers are the second or even the biggest threat to the Lakers in the Western Conference in this upcoming season. But look at Kawhi and Paul George's ages. They should have years ahead of them as elite players, particularly Kawhi, given the level he can play, and Paul George at least in the regular season. And then you have to look at the kind of moves the front office is capable of making. So I brought up Luke Kennard. You're like, oh, so what? They gave up Shamet, who can shoot, but that's it. Kennard's actually a better scorer. He's only 23 years old. And if he can stay healthy, you got him on the cheap. I bring up Lou Williams, who's a sixth man of the year, really perennially. He should be the sixth man of the year every year. You brought up Ibaka. You brought up Morris. If you bring in a guy like an aging veteran who's still effective, at some point in the next several years who can run the point, suddenly you think of this team differently.
Max, all of that talking, all of that synopsis, you just go bypass no facial expression, no animation, no nothing to the fact that Kendrick Perkins called the Clippers soft as hot Twinkies. You're just gonna just gloss over that. You don't. There's nothing inside of you that made you pause and say, "Wait a minute, did he just say they soft as hot Twinkies?" Is that what Kendrick Perkins said? Because that's what I heard. You just gonna gloss over that?
Let me tell you something. Everyone knows the Clippers underachieved this past season. That they're not going to play worse than that. But soft as hot Twinkies? Yeah, that's what the Western Conference is thinking. It's up to the Clippers to prove them wrong. But they don't just have this year to do it. They have years ahead of them.
I'm just saying pay attention to it. So soft as hot Twinkies.
I wasn't going to gloss over that. Stephen A., I was there with you. I was thinking like hot Twinkies, Pop-Tarts. It's been a while. Sounds kind of good. Girl's a little hungry. Perk, always good to see you. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you for bringing the analysis and the flavor as